Thank you for having me. Let me just put this mic on.
Yeah. That didn't work out too well.
Hello. All right, there it is. All right, thank you everybody for coming out. Power Broke Tour. Sunday, I know you have much better places you could be right now with your family and friends, and hopefully everybody got a chance to go to church if today's something if that's what you decided to do. I love Texas. I really do. I actually probably would move here if Mark Cuban didn't live in Dallas. Houston has always been one of my top 4 markets when it came to FUBU. There's always Atlanta, Houston, New York, and I think Chicago. And it's always been a city of entrepreneurs. So much that, Texas actually, as we all know, didn't even want to be part of America. They want to be their own. So Texans are really, really amazing people. A lot of my influences come from here. And influences in several different ways. Rap a lot, Bun B, Slim Thug, all my buddies here that I hang out with, because they've always been very, very independent. But also they've always been, you see in the music game that I've been closely associated with, and as well, they've always been very supportive and kind of like they created this ecosystem, unlike many other people in the same industry who wanted to fight with each other. So Texans have always been very, very supportive, and that's why the first couple of dates we've been on this tour have been in Texas. So thank you for having me. Now let me tell you a little bit about the book. I know that many people have heard some podcasts or may have seen me, doing my promotions on television and things of that nature. The Power of Broke, it's a mentality. It is not glamorizing being broke or not having resources. It's not. I always say that we all need resources and money. It's something needed to feed our families and give us proper access to health care and things of that nature. But if you are in a situation where you don't have resources, then we can either do one or two things. We can sit there and complain about it and feel sorry for ourselves and make excuses why we don't have it and talk to all those other people that don't have it and agree that we should never get it and it's too hard to obtain it. Or we can tap into the things that actually make people successful. It's a mindset, the power of broke. The power of broke is actually utilized by people who are successful more than people without resources. Because those who are successful utilize the power of broke and they stay successful. Having money is not something that's going to necessarily keep you successful. Because if that's the case, then over 60% of the people that play professional sports would be bankrupt 3 years outside of the league. Right? Or the people that play the lotto wouldn't be bankrupt 3 years after winning. So that means, obviously, money doesn't equal success, right? And also, you have to understand, and I've been told this many times by many people, when money doesn't equal success, because money only drives you up to your problems in a Bugatti, right? It doesn't mean you're successful. I love to joke and say that there are a bunch of really, really wealthy people that have money that I know that are some of the most miserable people on the planet. Kevin O'Leary, right? Hello, I'm going to keep that one forever. Money doesn't equal success. What is success? Well, success is being a great husband and wife, being somebody who raised an amazing family, somebody who stays true to their faith, somebody who is saving the carbon imprint on our planet. Gandhi was hugely successful. He didn't have any money. We just celebrated a great man's legacy the other day, Martin Luther King. He didn't have any money. That's success. Success is stopping the human trafficking. Success is fighting for our amazing little furry friends that can't fight for themselves, right? That's success. Success is to show love. Success is to stop a war instead of creating one. That is what success is. And I'm here to show you how to obtain that success. A young lady wrote me a letter the other day. She said that she was literally dying for the last 2 years because she needed a heart transplant, but she couldn't get a heart transplant because she needed an organ donor. And she finally found an organ donor. She couldn't afford my book, so she wrote into me and asked me could I share my book with her. And the fact that after she got her heart, she went out and she had, I don't know if it was 800 or 8,000 people sign up to be other organ donors. And she sent me a picture of herself as well as a picture of the organ donor that gave their life for our country because he was a Marine, and that heart went to her. That's success. She signed up 8,000 or 800, whatever it is. That's success, right? She's going to save lives, right? How many of us really want to talk about the day that, God's going to call for us and sign up to give our body to somebody else? That's a success. So, thank you for having me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to answer a couple of questions here. I'm going to try to include some of the mentality of the power broke in these questions here. And then we're going to get to the book signing. I'm going to try to make sure that I take pictures with everybody. And then, of course, I don't know if you've been following me on social media. I've been, if you hashtag the power broke, I will shout you out on social media. I'm operating the power of success now. Let's say there's 300 books sold here today. That's not why I'm here. Because if we all know business, like if the publisher sells it here at $10, that's fine, $3,000, that's great, right? That barely feeds this big guy behind me. I'm here because the power of hope is to touch the people that support you. I'm here to create a following. I'm here to understand what I'm putting in there, if it's good, if it's bad, either way, so I can correct it as we grow. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm traveling the country to talk to everybody else. I'm not buying my way as an author into things and just putting up big, beautiful ads all over the place and hopefully you'll find it. That's not why I'm here. And that's the power of growth at its finest level. I'm on 1 million podcasts because I want to make sure I get out the information to everybody else. And that's the power of growth. You don't do things for money, you do things for passion, right? And I will stand here as long as I can and take as many pictures as I can with everybody here today. All right, let's go to our questions. I usually like to shout out the person, people didn't write their names here. What changed your state of mind? What change in your state of mind was needed to remain rich and stay determined? I think it was first of all passion, because when we came out with FUBU, everybody said, we hit a pot of gold or hit the lotto and lightning was striking us, and that wasn't the case. So I wanted to make sure that I challenged myself when we came out with other clothing lines after that, number one. Number two is I tried to retire one time, and after my ex-wife told me to empty the garbage for the 50th time in the house, I decided I had to go back to work. And then I think it was when we created FUBU, we were inspired by Carl Kanai and Cross Colors. And my partner Keith is right here next to me anyway, so he's been my longtime friend. He's been a wonderful ride. I met Keith, I think, at 9th or 10th grade. Well, I met him in the 9th grade. Well, I saw him in 9th grade, and I was really afraid of him because he looked a little off. He took the short bus to school, and I didn't talk to him in the 10th grade. But anyway, what I was saying. All right, so it's been a wonderful ride, and then what else has started to inspire me to move forward is things like Shark Tank and things like seeing people who were inspired to open up their own companies because of something they saw that we did. And often people ask us why we're on Shark Tank. And we're on Shark Tank for one reason. Somebody like, especially like a Mark Cuban, who has more television time than ever. He's wealthy enough to buy all the sharks 20 times over. Why are we on there? Because it's the top show watched from kids 5 to 15 years old. It's the #1 show on network watched with kids and parents together. And when kids start to say to their parents, Mommy, Daddy, I know what you do now at work, we start to understand that Shark Tank was much bigger than us. And that kids now want to be sharks just as much as they want to aspire to be athletes and actors. Nothing wrong with being an athlete or an actor, but they are understanding that they can empower themselves and families can have financial freedom. And everybody doesn't have to be an entrepreneur, because it's just as hard being an entrepreneur working at a company, dealing with all those sensitive people, right? But if you think like an entrepreneur, you work within a company, then you'll sooner or later learn how to be an entrepreneur. And if not, people like me who are entrepreneurs, we need people next to us who think like entrepreneurs as well. My staff, every one of them is smarter than me. Well, not all of them, but most of them are smarter than me, and I try to surround myself with smart people. So, next one is, I heard once you say entrepreneurs should not bring in investors too early. At what point would you recommend seeking out potential investors? Really, really great question. I go into depth in it in The Power of Broke. Here's the deal. First of all, there's a couple of stages of investing. Number one is nobody is going to invest in you if you haven't invested your own money and time in it. So don't go out there asking for handouts, right? Because you think you have a great idea. Well, why should I invest in your great idea if I could put the same money into my great idea and own 100% of it? Every one of us in this room comes up with 2 ideas every single day. And there's 6 billion people on the planet. So an idea is just an idea, right? Now, if you invest in your own company, here's what you do it first. You buy, you go and you dig in the couch, and you dig as much change as you can out of the couch. You then go and sell that flat screen TV that you need to do, and you cut back on going to dinner 3 times a week outside, and you cook some meals, and you fund yourself. Maybe put a little in your credit card, not a lot. Then you fund yourself. Then you call your family over. Once you have proof of concept and you sold something to some people, remember, don't give away stuff. If you have 100 shirts and then the nastiest looking shirts on the planet, if you gave away 100, your grandmother's going to come to you one day and go, and even if she's lying, she's going to say, oh baby, when I was at the store, somebody asked me about this shirt and I was so proud of it. That's your grandmother. She loves you. Here's the best thing, especially in Houston. Sell shirts. Try to sell them on the corner, because people are going to tell you exactly what they think about that shirt. And half the people in Houston are going to tell you exactly what they think about you too while they're at it. Sell. Once you get the proof of concept, you sell a couple pieces. Invite your friends and family over to your house. Do a nice dinner. Invite 30 of them over to your house. And then tell everybody you want them to be part of this ride. And if they can, or they want, all put up $1,000. First of all, you'll find out who your friends and family really are. Second of all, you'll now put yourself on blast, and you put a nice little Facebook page together and let them enjoy the journey with you, right? Because many of them, truthfully, if you don't offer it to them, later on they'll say, why didn't you offer it to me? And let them be part of that. Then after that, you go out for maybe some traditional funding, banking and things of that nature, where you can get a loan, 6% or something of that nature, where you don't have to give up your company. And after that, if you have to, then you start going out for angel investors such as myself, venture capitalists and things of that nature. Don't take in money too soon. If you take in $50,000 today, if I give you $50,000 today for 30% of the company, when you get up to $300,000, you need to raise another 100. I'm not giving up my percentage. So now you got to raise another, $100 or $150,000 for 40% more of the company. Now you're working for everybody else. And you end up closing the business. Don't take in money too soon. Next one. If you go back in time to tell your past self something, what would it be? If I went back, I would have said to myself, Daymond, no matter what, get financial intelligence. That is the most important thing. Because that's it. Everybody asks me, I never went to college, and everybody says, well, you didn't go to college. You could be successful not going to college. That's true. But get a financial education, because it's twice as hard to keep the money as it is to make it. And I almost lost my house because of my lack of financial intelligence. When I first made a couple of $1 million, I blew it because of my lack of financial intelligence. Always get financial intelligence. You must. 2 more, and then we'll get to the signing. Do you ever feel overwhelmed and frustrated at the point of thinking about giving up and going to a 9-to-5 job? Did I ever, not do I ever? Well, the way the driver was racing here just now, I was thinking about giving up. Dude, crazy. Wasn't he crazy? He's on the hook. He's sitting right out there. He's sitting out there digging in his nose. No, don't give it to me. So, absolutely. So, let me tell you, this is a really good question when I think about it. I had a couple of businesses. I had a van business where I drove people all over the place. I was working about 18 hours a day, and I did that for about 3 years. And then I realized I was taking the work home with me. I wasn't making money because after the whole day of working, my health was declining, as well as I would go home and I'd think about insurance and maintenance on the van and things of that nature. And then I had this brilliant plan. I was going to buy crashed cars at $3,000 a piece, put $2,000 into them, and then sell them at $10,000 a piece. And I had it all planned out. And I was 18 at that time, and I figured by 22, if I sold X amount of cars, I'd be a millionaire. Now, Mike Tyson has a great quote. Everybody has a plan until I punch them in the face. Life and business will punch you in the face. And by the time I was 22 years old, I was working in Red Lobster. I didn't have any money. All those people that I was laughing and joking about and teasing in school, where I call them idiots and dummies and geeks, they were coming back from college with a college degree, and I was sitting there serving them shrimp, and I realized maybe I'm not as smart as I thought I was. I stopped chasing all those dreams of being an entrepreneur. I just got tired and exhausted. And then my friends, most of my friends were drug dealers. And they started laughing at me when I said, I just want to go work a regular job, and then I started doing the FUBU thing. And at that time, being an African American in the hood, doing fashion, we always thought that fashion designers were obviously gay Italian guys, right? So my drug dealer friends were laughing at me. And they were calling me gay and things of that nature, but it was all good, it was family. And that's when I started to really progress. I had a regular 9-to-5 at Red Lobster, and then I would go home and make the shirts, and I started surrounding myself with like-minded people like Keith, Carl, and Jay, where we didn't think about being better than other people, better than other drug dealers and things of that nature, right? Because we knew that wasn't an area that we wanted to be in. And when you stop thinking about being better than somebody else, you start to succeed. There's a great saying that the only person you should be better than is the person you were yesterday. That's it. And that's how I started to succeed. So those are my answers. I'm going to start signing books. And remember, everybody here in this room has the power to be successful if you tap into the power of broke. Over 65% of the Forbes top 1,000 wealthiest people in the world, all are self-made men and women. That means they were all broke. And they wouldn't be able to get on that list if all the generational wealth passed down would just transfer over. If you look at me, I'm short, I'm African American, I'm dyslexic, I got left back in 7th grade, I can't throw a basketball, I can't dance, I can't sing, I never went to college, I didn't know anybody out there. My father left at 10 years old with just my mother and I. Most of my friends were dead or in jail by the time of 20, and I'm here with you. Right? Thank you for being here with me. Let's start the signing. I appreciate it. Hold on 1 second. What's up? Okay. Little housekeeping rules. Okay.
Everybody just sit down, stay seated. If you have, this is how we're going to do it today. If you have a book, you should be in a line. The line starts back there. You get